Hello, my friends, it's Johnaroth, and today I'm stepping outside my comfort zone a little bit. I tend to really focus a lot on mono black decks, Demir decks, those types of decks, but I do like to experiment with some of the other commanders we have. And today we're focusing on an Azorius blue-white deck with one of the new Ether Drift commanders, and that is Mendicant Core Guidelight. Mendicant is a 2-mana star/3 for his stats because his power is equal to the number of artifacts you control. So if you have a lot of artifacts on the battlefield, Mendicant could be a 9/3, a 10/3, something like that. He does have the Start Your Engines ability so that when he gets to a max speed of 4, whenever you cast an artifact spell, you may pay 1, and if you do, you create a copy of it. That is a really strong ability. You do need a little bit of setup to get your speed up to 4, but we've built a shell of artifact creatures and spells to kind of help Mendicant get to where he needs to be. So if you look at the deck, we do have a lot of control type spells, Spell Pierce, Strict Serenade, the very broken Mana Drain, Disruption Protocol because we have a lot of artifacts in this deck, a lot of the counter type spells, as well as some removal like Swords to Plowshares, Get Lost, etc. But then we're really focused on a lot of strong artifact creatures. Steel Overseer can pump up all of our artifact creatures. We have Nettlecyst, Liberator, which is a flash creature, Foundry Inspector, who can make our artifacts cost less, the Chief of Foundry, who's going to pump up our artifact creatures. Lots of really strong artifact creatures to build up your army. The ridiculously powerful Simulacrum Synthesizer. I think this is the most powerful card in the deck because of the fact that when this artifact enters, you scry 2, but then whenever you cast an artifact with a value of 3 or greater, which is a lot of our deck, you get a construct token each time that gets +1/+1 for each artifact you have on the battlefield. So your constructs can be 8/8s, 9/9s, 10/10s, and you could be summoning multiples of these throughout the game to fight your opponent. We also do have some Planeswalker synergies here, such as Tesseret, Betrayer of Flesh, the other Tesseret, Artifice Master, Ugin, who makes all of our artifacts cheaper to cast, and then kind of some of the closers like Metalwork Colossus, which is a 10/10 who gets cheaper for every non-artifact or non-creature artifact you have. Kappa Cannoneer, which is a 4/4 Ward 4 who you can tap artifacts to cast and then gets +1/+1 whenever another artifact enters the battlefield or this creature. So this is a really fun deck to play. I really don't play a lot of blue-white or a lot of artifact decks. So let's take this into the queue and see if Mendicant. Let's go. Okay, our first game is against Winter Misanthropic Guide. Our opponent gets to go first because our opponent almost always gets to go first in our games. His hand does have some counter spells. It has the Palantir, Scrap Trawler. I'm going to keep this. Put down a land. Okay, we've got 2 lands. He's got 2 mana open. He's probably looking to kill our commander. I'm just going to hold off for now. Our next turn, I'm going to get the Palantir going if we can. Okay, he's going to try to cast an Arcane Signet. We're going to stop that from happening. We're going to bring out the Palantir. Don't really need the portable hull. Transpider isn't bad, but I'm going to scry. Okay. A is a fear missing out. No, he reanimated Shieldred. We're gonna say no to that. We're gonna bring out our commander. Forsaken Monument would be really good. I really want Forsaken Monument. I'm just gonna see if he lets this happen. Okay, our opponent takes 5, and we go up 1 in speed. Okay. Looks like he's looking to destroy our commander. We're going to get hit for 4 because he's going to attack twice with Fear of Missing Out. Gets another attack phase. Okay. We're going to activate the Flooded Strand and go for a land where we can surveil. There it is, Meticulous Archive. Tesseract could be really good. I'm going to keep him. We'll put down a land. We're going to bring out the Scrap Trawler. Get the Palantir going some more. I think opponent's gonna lose. Is this an artifact creature? No, it is not. It's an enchantment creature, though. So, which enchanter could be really good with this? Let's see what our opponent does. Okay, our opponent takes a lot. It looks like he took 4, 7, 9 damage. Okay, he's going to try to summon his commander. We kept up Wash Away mana, so we're going to counter that. Opponent's going to hit us for 2 again. But our opponent is very low on life. We could summon Tesseract. I'm going to go for Tesseract. Let's see if we can draw some cards here. Actually, we can make our land, which is indestructible, a creature, which is really good. So
I have suffered and toiled. I am owed victory. Meet your killer.
We're going to hit our opponent for 4. And now, with the Palantir, we get to draw whatever we want because he can't afford to lose any more life. We could draw a land, which would be good. This is tricky. I'm just going to put them both to the bottom and see what we can find. Say we draw a Skrull. Our opponent's attacking.
I hope you're proud of yourself.
Okay, our opponent summons Winter. Okay. What we're going to do first is cast Portable Hole to get rid of the fear of missing out. We're going to summon Skrull. Attack with our land. Our opponent has to block or he's dead. We're going to keep up a counter spell and wait till next turn. We get to basically draw whatever card it is, or our opponent would be dead, so... This is the moment of truth. Okay, opponent casts to remove the board, but our creature is indestructible, so no matter what, we win the game. Good game. And our first game with Mendicant is a win. Good game. Okay, our second game is against one of the most popular commanders out there, Ketramos. I did my own video on Ketramos. We do get to go first. So I'm going to keep this hand. We really need another land, though, quite honestly, to make this halfway decent. I'm going to Spell Pierce this, because I don't want him taking cards out of our hand. Okay, we're going to cast Diversion Unit, 2/1 flyer. We can sacrifice this creature by paying 1 mana to counter essentially a instant or sorcery. We're going to summon our commander. Okay, our opponent's going to cut down the diversion unit. Okay, he summons his commander, Ketramos. We're going to cast Perilous Snare to exile his commander. And our opponent scoops. Really very quick game of Magic there. Ketramos is a really strong commander. I would advise not bringing him out always right away. Usually you want to wait until you have some exile effects to gain some card draw. So I tend to wait a little bit on bringing out Ketramos, but good game. Okay, our opponent is playing Hasserat. This is from Ether Drift. It's 2 mana for a 5/3 indestructible haste with Start Your Engines, which builds up speed, which is really good. And it will pay 1 and tap to make a creature of 2 or less. Can't be blocked this turn. Hazoret can't attack or block unless you have max speed. So our opponent's probably got a lot of damage spells in this deck. As far as his hand goes, unfortunately, because our opponent is going first, he's going to be able to get out his commander. I do like having the counter spell. Sai will be able to generate a lot of creatures if we can cast some artifacts, which will be good, because we'll need blockers against red. I'm going to try this, but to be honest with you, this is a pretty aggressive commander, so he probably does have a really good chance against our deck. Okay, opponent is going to plot the Slickshot Show-Off, which is a powerful bird creature, very fast. We're going to get our Surveil land to look at the top. We really don't need any more mana, so I'm going to move that down. Put a land down. And we'll pass. Okay, our opponent summons the Godseeker. We are going to counter the Slickshot Show-Off, though, so that he cannot hit us this turn. He's going to hit us with Lightning Bolt. Down a land. We're just going to hold off for now. We really need our counter spells to keep us going in this game. Okay. Unfortunately, we're going to take 1 damage for the speed. But we are going to counter this creature because it can generate treasures. Okay, I'm going to put down our Cavern of Souls and say robot. For the type, however, what I'm going to do is summon the One Ring so that we don't take any damage next turn. We're going to summon our commander. Our opponent's trying to abrade the One Ring, but he will not be able to do that because it's indestructible. Sorry, opponent. I make mistakes like that too sometimes. I understand. Bring out Sai. If Sai can stay alive for a turn or two, then we'll be in pretty good shape because we can create a lot of creatures. But unfortunately, he did kill Sai, so that's not good. Wow. Leyline Axe. If our opponent gets to hit us, we are going to be in a world of hurt. Okay, let's see here. I don't want to take any damage because then our opponent is going to get to hit us for a ton. Does this give... It gives trample. We are actually in a lot of trouble here. I'm gonna bring out the Gold Forged Thopter. We're gonna hold off. If our opponent can deal a damage to us, we are in trouble. Okay, he's gonna equip Hazaret. Luckily, he has not been able to get his speed up to 4 to attack. We are going to have to risk it here because we're going to need some card draw. So I'm going to draw with the One Ring. We're going to take a damage, which is going to put our speed... Well, it didn't put the speed up, so I was incorrect on that. Gonna draw again. We have to draw a solution to Hazaret in some way. Okay, I'm gonna put down a land. Going to attack with Mendicant. Boost up our speed. I'm going to summon a Palladium Mirror. A Skrelv. And hope we can survive. Okay. Draw another land. We're gonna go with the One Ring. See if we can get something really good. Okay. Summoning Ugin would cost all of our mana, pretty much. But it would make all of our cards a lot cheaper. So I'm gonna go for it.
Recklessness and fear are the seeds of
And
disaster.
we can actually copy once we get to full... Once we get to full speed, we can copy some of these spells, so this will be good. I'm going to hit him just to boost up our speed. Okay, we're now at full speed, which means we can make copy of our creatures. What do we have down here? Not much. I'm going to bring out the Scrap Trawler and make a copy of him. So we have a couple good blockers here. I'm going to use Ugin's ability to get rid of this Sin Prodder.
My plans do not include you.
Pass the turn. If he gets to full speed, oh, we're gonna get hit, and unfortunately he's at full speed, so he will be able to attack with his commander, which is so scary. If we can survive this turn, I think we can win, but this is going to be so hard to do. So I am going to block with some of these just to absorb some of this damage. He has Embercleave. Oh no. I think we're in trouble. Okay, let's see what happens. Kills both of them and we take a lot. We're down to 5. And we're going to be down to 2 on our turn. Okay. This is the turn of truth, essentially. Can we win? Right now, we can deal 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 to him. We're going to have to draw with the one ring and see what we get. Okay, we can put Hazaret in his deck, which is great, but we're going to die on our turn because of the one ring. So I'm not sure if there's a way we can win this. If we had one more turn, I think we could pretty easily win, but I don't think that we can. Maybe if we cast enough creatures, we can boost up Mendicant enough? Potentially? Let's see what we can do. We'll pay for that. Maybe we can boost up Mendicant enough to win this. Okay, now we'll cast Solemn Simulacrum. We can only cast really... Well, I think we could even bring out the Kappa. Is the Kappa an artifact creature? Yes, it is. Okay, first, let's bring out the Solemn Simulacrum. Get some more lands out here. We might be able to do enough damage to kill him this turn. How do I get it so that... Okay, we're going to auto-pay. Can we do enough damage? We can do... down to 3. This is so close. We're both at 3 life. He has an amazing attacker. We're going to have to block with everything we have. Because that's 16 damage. Okay. Block with everything we have. See if we win. Okay. We survived that. Unfortunately, I think our opponent's going to have just enough to win this. Oh! So close. Such a close game. That was a really good game of Magic. If we had had one more life, we would have stayed alive. Probably something I could have done a little differently with the casting. Maybe I could have come up with a way to block that. But that was a really good, tense game of Magic. Obviously, on our turn, if we had survived, we would have won. It wouldn't have even been close. But that was a really good game. Good game, Hazaret. Great stuff. Okay, our next... Okay. Our next opponent is playing a deck I have not seen before. So this is interesting. Let's take a look at his commander. We do get to go first. This hand is really slow, though, and we only have one kind of two lands, but not really. I think we need a mulligan here. This hand is much better from a land perspective. I am going to keep this. Okay, his commander is Sagan Raider Warlord, a 1/4 double strike. Start your engines, and when it attacks creatures you control, get +1/+0 until end of turn for each creature with first strike or double strike, and then he gets Death Touch when you have max speed, and other creatures you control have first strike. That's pretty strong. It's an alchemy card. Okay, we're going to put down a land, pass the turn. Okay, we're going to go for our Surveil land, so we can see what the next card is on top. Solemn Simulacrum. I think we need more lands before that's really going to be good, so we'll get rid of that. We'll put down a land, summon our commander. Okay, I'm assuming he has some sort of removal. He does. Okay, opponent has a raptor. We are going to summon the Foundry Inspector, which will make our artifact spells cheaper. Just going to take this. Okay, let's see here. Let's put down our land. We are going to summon Unctus, which pumps up our creatures. We'll hold off for now. No attacks. Okay. There's a Gostel Thrill Seeker, which is going to deal 1 damage to us. He's going to pump up his speed by 1. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of Karasav, so he cannot attack with that. Gonna pump up his knight. Okay, we drew the best card in the deck, which is Simulacrum Synthesizer. We definitely want these cards. I'm definitely going to take Fractured Identity. That is such a good card. We're going to cast Thought Monitor, which means we will get to draw some more cards. And we're going to pass. Our opponent's really pumping up the knight. Okay, he's going to get rid of the Thought Monitor. And our opponent scoops. Yeah, unfortunately, I do think our opponent had some mana issues, perhaps. However, on our turn, we're going to be able to get out a lot of artifacts due to the Simulacrum. We can bring this out, the unidentified hover ship, which will exile one of his creatures, summon another artifact construct, then we can summon the Chief of Foundry, summon another artifact construct, hit him for a ton of damage. There's really not going to be any recovery in this game for him. Really good game, though. It's always interesting to see a new commander, so. Thank you, my friends, for watching my video featuring Mendicant Core Guidelight. Mendicant Core is a really interesting commander. I would put him at maybe a low B tier commander. You can get him out early. He has a very high power if you have a lot of artifacts on the battlefield, and his ability to copy artifacts is very, very strong. The downside is, though, you do have to get to that max speed in order to utilize that ability, and if you're fighting some very aggressive decks, that sometimes can be a struggle, especially against like a mono red deck or something like that. We do have a lot of really good buffers in this deck, counter spells removal to help you get to that point. And once you get going with Mendicant, it's a lot of fun and you just overwhelm your opponent with super strong artifacts. So I do highly recommend playing this commander as a new Ether Drift card. I did put the deck list in the description below. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, all those good things, as it really does help me as I'm starting to grow my channel. I appreciate you watching my video. Thank you and have a good day.